will recapture whatever we did yesterday. Before that, what we'll do is, first let me start the installation because it will take time, right? We are going to create another profiles. See, yesterday, this is the one. Okay, so yesterday we did the installation of base, which is a standalone where the setup is arranged. VAS is the topology. VAS topology is arranged as a standalone topology, which is individual topology, because we did the installation of base. That too, we created only one profile, right? So where the profile will be available, go to the C program. You have to go for the VAS home. Where is the VAS home? Generally, it's going to be C program files. C program files, IBM, WebSphere, App Server. Okay, this is the path. What we are saying, this path is VAS home, and whatever the content of this entire thing is going to be product binaries. By using these product binaries, we created a one profile where you will see that if you get into the profiles folder, there you can see a profile which is you already created. That one is default, because as it's a product binaries of base, as a standalone product binaries, by using that you can create only one type of profile. The same type of profile which you already created the default, the same type of profile you can create n number of times, but all n number profiles also is going to be same, looks like a default only, but no relation with each and everything. What we will do, we will get into the new profile creation, one more profile, and we will see how it was going to looks like same like a default profile, and then we will see why it's not having any relation between these two, and how the VAS setup is going to be looks like a standalone VAS topology, so that this part is going to be finished. Okay, so if I want to, we already seen, right? If you get into this default profile, this path we are going to call as a default profile home. This path related with, we are going to call it as a default profile home. Up to app server, we are going to call as a VAS home, where the product binaries will be there. Inside that profiles, we get into the default. This path we are going to call as a default profile home, where it's going to contain the complete content related with the default profile. Complete content related with the default profile. Okay, now let me create one more profile. How I can create a profiles, and this, to create these profiles, we are going to use profile management tool. Actually, it was one of the tool which we are going to use to set up the profile creation and everything. Okay, so that profile creation tool, that where you can see, you go to the VAS home. See, VAS home and profile home both has going to have a bin directory. Both is going to have a bin directory. In that bin directory, you are going to see complete command line tools. You are going to see complete command line tools. Okay. So what are the each and every command line tool? Once you get into the VAS home, and once you get into the bin directory, you will see the complete all command. What we are going to call this all? We are going to call them as a command line tools, utilities tools. So this is the commands which you will going to use for the entire administration of VAS. So each and every command line utility tools we are going to discuss very clearly in the system management 4th chapter. Now to start and stop and to see the status, whatever the useful one only we are going to create, the profile creation and everything, the entire tools, entire command line tools, what is the purpose of in each and everything we are going to discuss very clearly on system management tool, system management, the 4th chapter, system management 1. Okay, now as of now, to start to create another profile, if you go for this profile creation folder, you will see here the PCT windows.executable. If you click on this one, you can create another profile by using the same product binaries which are there in the VAS home. Okay, we already by using the product binaries, we already created a one profile. That profile name is a default, and the default profile is created as a 3-layer cell level configuration files. Inside that node level configuration file. Inside that server level configuration files, and the server name is server 1, and which is going to be, that server 1 is going to be application server, where you are going to deploy the application, and as well as that is the JVM which you are going to administrate. Okay, now by using the profile creation wizard or profile PCT, what we'll call from the versions more than 6.1, we are going to create another profile by using the same product binaries. Okay, that's what we are seeing now. These profiles can be created by using the commands also. What the commands we are going to use to create the profiles, we will see very clearly in the system management chapter. Now by using this GUI interaction of this profile creation wizard and PCT, which will be called from 6.1, so by using this GUI interaction, we are going to create a profile now. And please observe what is the difference when you are creating a same type of profile by using the same product binaries. And once this part is done, we'll compare with the both with this profile with the default profile, and you will see how the network deployment standalone setup is created. Now what the profile name you will give? It is a standalone profile, right? So already one profile is there with the name default, which will be created defaultly. Now we'll give this as a profile 1. Stand alone profile 1 will give. Okay, next, see here, you are able to see here, make this profile as the default, right? If you take this, this profile is going to be considered as a default. What will be happen if you select as a default? I will explain you later, but remember, if you select this standalone profile 1 is going to be a default. Okay, default profile, because we are creating a second one. Okay, next, so where it was going to create the profile, this is going to be the profile home. See program files, IBM WebSphere app server. This is VAS home. Inside that profiles, already default profile is there. Now one more profile name with one more folder is creating, that is standalone profile 1, and this is standalone profile 1 profile home. Okay, and click on next. So node name will give as a standalone profile node.
Sir,
Okay,
may I know the difference between a node and host name, sir?
see, node is which is going to create while you are creating a profile under a cell, right? Host name is a IP address which is going to be used for a physical system. See, by using the host name only, the request will come for the physical system. You are giving the host name here as a local host. Instead of this local host, you can give the IP address of this physical system also. That is the host name. Node is different, right? This host name is related with the physical system. Node is related with the profile. Okay, you are giving the node name which is related with the profile. This is the host name which you are going to give the IP address and contact of your physical system where this node is creating. Very clear?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Now if you observe, see, before when we created a default one, it's taken 9060, right? Now it was taking 9061. It was taking one point extra with compare of each and everything, because you in the real time, I think you people may see that port conflict. What will happen if I take 9061, it's taking, right? If I take 9060, what will happen? Request don't know whether it has to go the server 1 of a default profile or server 1 of this standalone profile 1. So that's the reason it will take the port numbers one extra for each and everything. This we will see the practically also. Okay, this is the port numbers what it was going to take, where these port numbers will be stored at the node level server index.xml file. Okay, So run the application server as a Windows services, login as a local system account, and startup type as a manual, and click on next. This is the total summary. Now the profile creation is happening. Okay, fine. Let it go. That it will take time. Meanwhile, we will explain. We will discuss whatever we had yesterday explanation, and if you have any doubts, also we'll give the clarity. Now, see here. This is VAS home. In the VAS home, if you go inside the profiles, by using this VASM product binaries, we already created yesterday the default profile. Now we are creating standalone profile one more profile. Okay. So it's also going to be, it's also going to be create same like this path we are going to call as profile 1 profile home. And if you go inside of this we are going to call as default profile home. In the default profile home, default related total content will be there as a 3 layers. If you go inside the config, cell level configuration files, inside that node level configuration files, and inside that server level configuration files, and one server is created. That server name is server 1. Okay, now we given the another profile creation, which is a standalone profile 1. It's also going to be create same like a default. It will also create like, if you go inside the config, you will see cell level configuration files, inside that node level configuration files, inside that server level configuration files, and in that server you will see again server 1, but again server 1. If you see here, it's also the JVM name is server 1 only, right? The JVM name is server 1 only. This is cell name, inside that cell level configuration files, node name, node level configuration files, still is not created. It will create, it will take time. Okay, so but it was going to create again same like default only. Okay, once this creation is done, I will give the clarity so that you will be very clear with how those two are looks like same, and what is the difference, and how the VAS setup is going to be as a standalone. Okay, let us start the console of yesterday one. And to start the console of yesterday one, what we need to do, we need to start the server, right? So where I am, I am into the path of default profile home bin directly, and go for start server.bat space server 1. Okay, server 1. And now once the server is started, what will come? It's going to show like the server is started with, for e-business, for enterprise business e-business, with process ID. So, and yesterday I said no, that process ID is very important, very important. What is that process ID actually? Server 1 is a JVM, right? Server 1 is a Java virtual machine, which is we are going to call as application server, which we are going to consider that as a application server, and we are going to administrate it, and where we are going to deploy the application. Now that server 1 is getting start. So once the server 1 is start, it is also a Java process, right? Once it is started, it was starting with a process ID with the process number, right? So what do you mean by that? Why the process ID is creating for that JVM? Because see, this until the server 1 is installed in this physical server, will agree, which is a local host, which the host name we given, this physical server, which is a XPOS 1. If it is not started with some process ID, how this physical system, the XPOS having this physical system, will know this server 1 is there? That's the reason once the server 1 is started, it will start with some process ID. So now the Windows XP come to know, yes, server 1 is started. If any related request related with the server 1, the Windows XP, the local host, the physical system, can send that request exactly to the server 1. Okay, get the point, right? By using the process ID which is assigned for this server 1. Okay, so And generally in your real time, whenever whenever you are getting the issues with startup, or see the server one is open for e-business with some process ID 556. Generally in the real time, whenever you got the issues with this process ID, issues with the startup or start or something with the server one, what you will do generally? If you is you anytime did you involved in kill that process ID? So what is the
Yes.
difference when you will go for the kill that process ID?
So sometimes JVM take more time to stop.
uh,
So
uh-huh,
in that
uh,
case, I used
uh.
kill.
You use it to kill that process ID, right? So
Yeah.
then instead of kill that process ID, you can stop that JVM, right? My question is, what is the difference between stopping the JVM and killing that process ID? You have an idea?
Yeah, maybe if we stop the JVM using particular this command, WebSphere
uh,
command, then
okay.
it will be updated to Node. Node come to know this process has been gracefully shut down. And if
Okay.
we use the kill,
Uh-huh.
so in that case we might need to restart Node agent also to know the that particular JVM is gone.
No, it's not like that. Okay, some part is okay, but the thing is, see, the clear difference between this, see, the JVM is, you're trying to stop the JVM, it's not getting some issue is there with the JVM, and instead of stopping that, or sometimes you try to you are trying to start that, but it's not getting start. But in that scenario also, you are going to kill that process ID, right? So the difference between stop the JVM and killing the process of it, that JVM, the difference is like, it's like, um, see, stop the JVM means you are cutting the tree, you're just cutting the tree, okay? But killing that process ID means you are pulling out the entire tree from the earth. You got my point, right? So once if you go for the kill the process ID, there is no related of that process will be available in the physical system. Suppose instead of killing the process ID, if you just stopped it, what will happen? Its related things will be there, but just you stopped. That means you just cut the tree. That's it. But if you kill that process ID, that means you are not not, it's not like a cutting the tree, you are pulling that entire tree base will be inside the earth, right? You are pulling everything out. That means there is no point of tree related in the earth. That is the thing. If you did the kill the process ID, if you stop the process, if you stop the JVM means you just cutting up, but that tree related one things will be there in the earth. After sometimes maybe it's there in the earth. That's the meaning. Okay, so when you go for the kill the process ID, so you will go for the kill process ID only when if you don't want any related of that process into existing physical system, then you will go for the kill process ID and freshly you will start again the JVM, so that it will create a fresh new process ID with fresh process. So no more of old one, nothing. So that's the reason generally if you got any issues related, the preferable is you will go for the kill process ID. If you want, we can kill this process ID. Okay, so how to kill that process ID from the Windows, right? The command task kill /f/pid, I think. Excellent. Yes,
Yes, terminus.
it has been terminated. So the command is task kill /f/pid, and then give the PID number. Okay, now see the process with the PID 556 has been terminated. That means the entire process with the origin, there is no point of related that process is existing there. So it was, everything is deleted. But if you go for the stop, what will happen? It will stop just process, but its related things will be there in the physical system. Okay, that's the thing. If you want to do the root cause analysis of if you're facing any issue with the Java related process, and this process is some missing or something, some issues, if you feel that, always instead of stopping, you will go for kill that process ID entirely and freshly you will start again. Okay. Okay, fine. So anyhow, once it is started, we will log into that console and and we'll see. And you can see what the process ID it was using in the console. Is anybody has an idea where we can see what process ID that server one is using, where you can see in the console?
It will be under log path.
No. It will be under log path? We'll see. HTTP localhost 9060 IBM. Okay, so now I am logging in, right? So see here, what is happening now? When you give HTTP, it was the protocol which is using by user client, and when you give the local host, this is the host name of the physical system. So the HTTP protocol send the request to the physical system, right? So it came for the physical system. From here, when you give 9060 how this local host, the physical system, come to know 9060 is using by server 1. How it will come to know? Because server 1 is started with the process ID 988. So now its local host, the local server come to know, the physical server come to know a Java process is already started with this process ID. So by using this process ID, it will go to this server 1 and it will check in the server 1 9060 port, and it will see the contact root of this, and it will display the console homepage. Okay, log into here. So this is the home where you will do the entire administration, right? You should be very clear with all those content whatever we have inside this, and go to each and everything and do complete R&D of each and everything. You touch up everything and Google it and search for each and every point. If you are 100% perfect with each and everything, then you will do the very good administration of VAS. Okay. If you click on servers, you will see the application server, right? Click on application server. What is the application server with this default one? The application server with the default one, this one is done. Yeah, it is done. This profile creation is also done. We will see it now. Okay. So with this, if you click on server one, you will see the server one, right? This is the application server which is created for this default profile. So if you click on this server one, you will see all the content of this is the JVM. This is the application server. What are the major components of this server one? What are the major components we discussed in the architecture, right? Web container, EJB container, right? Messaging engine,
Yes.
messaging related, and web services engine. All port numbers, everything will be there. Once you click on this server one, you will see there web container settings, EJB containers, and those are messaging related one. Service infrastructure, this is with the Java and process management, process definition, and everything will happen, and all the port numbers will be available here. And this is related with MQ, performance and security, all the complete. So what you have to do is click everything. You just click everything and check it out, what is there, what it has, and everything you have to check. Okay. And if you see when I click on server one, it was showing as the configuration of server one, right? I said where you can see the PID of this server one. If you click on this runtime, you will see what the process ID it was using. Okay, what is the process ID it was using? 988. See, 988, right? So if you click on this runtime, you will see the process ID and you will see where it was. Everything is related. So generally, when you click on this, you will see only these configurations will be displayed, and beside there will be a runtime. If you click on this, you can see the process ID. And somebody said something somewhere, log or something. If you click on the applications, and please everyone go through each and everything of this one and do entire R&D. And if you got any doubts, we'll discuss it later. Okay. Now we will see that this one is already created. See, now I don't want to create the launchpad again and the finish. So one more profile is created, right? Let us see that one, how it looks like. See, if you go for the VAS home, So what is this? VAS home. In that we have product binaries. By this we created a profiles. We already created a one profile which is default. Now we created one more profile that is standalone profile. If you get into this path, we are going to call it as a standalone profile home. If you get into the config, you will see a cell. Inside the cell, you will see the cell name. Inside the cell, you will see the cell level configuration files. Inside that node, you will see node name. We give an SAP node, right? Inside the node name, you will see node level configuration file. Inside the server, you will see the server name as a server one, and inside that you will see server level configuration file. See here, it is also created as a same like a default only. It was created as a cell. Inside that cell level configuration file, inside that node level configuration file, inside that server, and the server name also same as a server one. But what is the difference between this? See, by using the product binaries of base, you can create n number of profiles. Now we created two profiles, right? Default and standalone profile 1, and you can create profile 2, profile 3, profile n. You can create n number of profiles, but all are going to be same type. There is no difference. All are going to be same type. It's going to be like, cell inside that node, inside that server, and the server also going to be, the name is server 1. The name is server 1 only. Now, is there any relation with this default and this standalone profile 1? No. Why? Those are going to be stand as a standalone. No relation at all. If any relation between these two, then it's going to be network setup, right? So there is no relation between these two. But you can create n number of same type of profiles, but no relation with each and every one. Those are going to be work as a standalone. So now the VAS is arranged as a standalone. You got the point, right? So here, that's the reason in the default, whatever the node we have, in the standalone profile 1, in this profile 1, whatever the node we have, we are going to call those nodes as those nodes are dedicated only for that one server, that is server 1. That's the reason we are going to call those nodes as unmanaged nodes. Unmanaged nodes. These are not going to be managed by anything. Those are individual. That's the reason in the standalone topology, in standalone installation, the nodes are going to be unmanaged nodes. Okay, now let us, if you want to work on this profile 1, standalone profile 1, you need to start this server 1, right? So if you want to start this server 1, what you have to do? You have to start that server. Where you have to go? Now see here, we are at the profile home of default. You need to go to the profile home of, you need to get into the profile home of standalone profile, and you have to go to the bin, and there you have to give the start the server. Standalone profile, then go to the bin, right? In the bin, from there start server 1. Now this server 1 is related with the new standalone profile 1. Okay, and now see, we created another profile. In the same way, you can create n number of profiles, but all are going to be, seems to be same, like how all are looks like same, and no relation with each and everything. Okay, each and every profile is going to be work as a individual, going to be as a standalone. That's the reason those nodes we are going to call them as a unmanaged nodes. Okay, once this server is started, we'll log into this console and you will get the idea of this one, and then we'll close this base setup, how the things are going to be, and you will be clear. Then we'll get into the ND, which is very, very interesting and very, very logical one. At least we'll finish today the theoretical part of that ND one. Okay, so tomorrow we'll get into the practical. See, the server 1 is open for e-business with the process ID 3092. Now the physical system, the local host, which is the local host, the physical system Windows XP, come to know there is one more Java process. That server name is server 1 only, but its process ID is 3092. In the same way, before one more process with the name server 1, one more Java process is running, but its process ID is different, right? And its process ID is different. So depending upon the virtual host, the port number, the request, the physical server will send it to there. Okay. So for example, see here, just log out. Here, you given http:// and localhost. The request come for the physical system. There, if you give 9060 slash IBM slash console, the request will go to the server one, which the 9060 port number is using, and the request will go to the server one of default profile. If you give 9061, the request will go to server one of default standalone profile one. Okay, so you see, if 9061, this console is related with the server one of second profile which we created. If you log in, and you can see that it is second profile which we created, that console, right? If you can observe here, you click on server one, it's looks like same like that one only, server one only. It looks like same like server one, but this server one is created under the node of SAP node, right? SAP node. If you the same way, and this console is no more related with this console, right? If you log in, it's 9060, and if you see this server is server one of which node? Default node. See, GM node. This is the default profile node, and before one is standalone profile node. So you got the point, right? So here, whatever you are giving, and now if you observe, now by using the product binaries, you created two profiles. One profile is default, another one is standalone, and you can create n number of profiles, but all are seems to be same. It was going to create like a cell inside that node, inside that server one, which is the application server, and the node is going to be, we are going to call as an unmanaged node, and no relation with one profile to another profile. That's it. Clear? So we are done with this base one. Anybody has any standalone setup, and anybody has any doubts regarding this, whatever we discussed up to now?
Sir, in Windows, one option is there to restart the server from services, Windows services.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what is the difference between that server? If I restart the server like this, start server and then stop server.
There is no difference. You have the options like that. Okay. See here is that MSC, right? That command, if I'm not wrong. Okay. While you did the installation, you given preference like, you want to add this as a Windows services, right? If you select that, then only it will be appeared in this Windows services. It's not coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, it's only triggering the. Okay.
See, you just an option, Akash. See, the Windows services, if you select that while installation, if you select that, see now here, I think while installation we given it as a add as a service. If you come somewhere, IBM,
I think
it will be with the name IBM. 1 second, I think which one it was taken. It's not taken, I think Windows one. I think it's taken mine. Okay, 1 second. See, 1 second. I need to give MSC here, right?
Yeah.
You got my mind.
Yes. You.
There. Yeah. From here, when you go for services.msc, right? So now this XP services will open. Yes. In these services, with the name IBM. Yeah. See here. See, this is one. Both services are started. Both are seems to be started here, right? Both are as a started. If I give this SAP node, I can start and stop from here. See. So now I'm making stop it here.
So it's just triggering the native script of WAS. So
Yes,
nothing
yes.
else.
So you see,
Yeah,
nothing
okay.
else. So you are going to get one more option to start or stop. You don't need to go for command prompt every time to start or stop. If you want, you can if
So
you add
instead
that
of
as a services, and from here also you can stop it.
so
Okay.
generally we preferable to go admin console. Either we need to stop and start the JVM or
Yes,
script wise, or this is the one more option.
yes, yes. This is one more option. See, now it is stopped. See, it was stopped. That's the reason if you go for the console, because of the stop, if you go to the console 6.1, page cannot be displayed will come. See, it's not coming because it is stopped from Windows services. Anybody has any more doubts? Done with this base installation. Okay, so we are done with this base installation. And anybody has any doubts, whatever we discussed now, if everything is fine, and I will make it close up now, and we will start the endpoint discussion now.